Why did Taehyung's voice tremble when he finally broke his silence? What kind of truth could be so powerful that it made Jungkook, known for his calm and composure, burst into tears in front of millions? That question has haunted ARMY across the world ever since Taehyung, the beloved V of BTS, opened up in a rare, emotional moment that no one saw coming. The world expected charm, laughter, maybe even nostalgia, but not this. Not a confession that could shake the foundation of BTS's brotherhood and leave fans speechless. For years, Taehyung and Jungkook have been two of the most talked about figures in the global music scene, admired not just for their unmatched talent, but for their deep and often mysterious bond. But when Taehyung finally spoke out during a recent live appearance, something shifted. His words carried the weight of years, of unspoken stories, silent struggles, and hidden emotions that no one dared to touch. And when Jungkook heard them, he couldn't hold back. It began like any other evening live stream. Fans flooded the chat with hearts, jokes, and excitement. Taehyung appeared calm, his signature smile lighting up the screen. Yet, behind that smile, something felt off. His tone was softer, his eyes distant, as if he was holding back something he wasn't ready to say. Sometimes, he began, we keep things inside because we're afraid of how others might see us. But silence can be heavier than the truth. That one line was enough to make millions of fans pause. The chat froze. The air felt tense. Taehyung's hand trembled slightly as he took a deep breath, and in that instant, everyone knew. This wasn't just another friendly talk. This was a confession, a breaking point, and perhaps a revelation that would echo through BTS history. Moments later, Jungkook joined the live stream, his appearance unplanned, his expression unreadable. He sat quietly for a few seconds, watching Taehyung speak. But when Taehyung looked at him and said, "There's something I've wanted to say to you for a long time," the tension exploded. Fans reported that Jungkook's eyes widened. His jaw tightened. And then, unexpectedly, he whispered, "Say it." Taehyung's voice cracked as he said, "I wasn't always honest, not with you, not with myself, not with ARMY." The comments section erupted. Thousands of fans began typing messages of confusion, heartbreak, and disbelief. What was he talking about? What truth had been buried so deep it made even Jungkook tremble? Taehyung continued, "There were times I felt lost. Times I felt like I couldn't be who everyone thought I was. But you," he turned to Jungkook, "you always saw me, even when I couldn't see myself." Jungkook blinked hard, his lips pressed tightly together. Then came the tears, silent, slow, and painfully real. ARMY couldn't handle it. Clips went viral within minutes. Jungkook cried, trended worldwide on social media. Fan accounts tried to analyze every detail: Taehyung's tone, Jungkook's reaction, the cryptic meaning behind those words. Speculations spread like wildfire. Was it about pressure? About misunderstandings within the group? About years of unspoken emotions? Insiders close to the group said that Taehyung's confession wasn't about conflict, but about truth. About finally confronting the emotional distance that fame, expectation, and relentless schedules had created. For years, BTS members have carried an almost mythical image of perfection, brothers bound by music and loyalty. Yet beneath that flawless surface, there were moments of exhaustion, unspoken worries, and a longing for something real. Taehyung's words broke that illusion, reminding fans that behind the stage lights are human hearts, fragile and sincere. Sometimes, Taehyung added softly, "You forget to ask your friend if they're really okay. You smile, take pictures, perform, but deep down you wonder if they still see the same way." Those words hit Jungkook harder than anyone could imagine. He wiped his tears and replied, "I always did, Hyung. Always." The silence that followed was louder than any applause BTS had ever received. It was a moment of raw humanity, one that stripped away fame and left only truth. Psychologists who analyze fan reactions online pointed out that this kind of emotional connection is rare in celebrity culture. Dr. Lee Ji-eun, a Korean media expert, noted, "What we saw was vulnerability, and vulnerability from global icons like Taehyung and Jungkook creates a powerful empathy effect." Fans aren't just watching idols, They're witnessing human emotion unfiltered. Many fans noticed how Taehyung chose his words carefully. He never mentioned conflict, yet his tone carried regret. He never said goodbye, yet it felt like closure. He never said thank you, yet his eyes were full of gratitude. Some interpreted his message as an acknowledgement of the emotional distance that fame can create. Others saw it as an expression of guilt, perhaps for moments when he couldn't fully be himself, or when he let his relationship with Jungkook fade under the weight of schedules and expectations. But one theory resonated most with fans, that Taehyung's confession was about forgiveness, a longtime fan account wrote. He wasn't just talking to Jungkook, he was forgiving himself. You could feel it in every word. That's why Jungkook cried, because he understood. According to insiders, Taehyung had been preparing for this talk for months. Close friends revealed that he had been writing personal notes, reflecting on his years in the spotlight and thinking deeply about his connection with each member, especially Jungkook. He's always been introspective, one close friend said. But lately, he's been more open about wanting to say things he's held back for too long. That live stream wasn't spontaneous. It was a release. Those who know Jungkook say his reaction was genuine. He had no idea what Taehyung planned to say. Jungkook's tears weren't for the cameras. They were for the years that passed, the things unsaid, the silent understanding between two people who've shared more than fame. They've shared growing up together under impossible pressure. Since that night, ARMY has dissected every second of the broadcast. Some noticed Taehyung's trembling hands, others focused on Jungkook's breathing patterns, how he looked down, smiled faintly, then finally broke down. Fans on Korean forums claimed Taehyung's words were an indirect message of gratitude for Jungkook's loyalty through difficult times. International fans translated every phrase, looking for nuances that might have been lost in translation. Taehyung's voice cracked when he said, "You always saw me," one fan noted. That's when Jungkook started crying. That's when everything changed. In the days that followed, both artists stayed quiet. No social media posts, no clarifications. Silence, the kind that only deepens curiosity. Then, unexpectedly, Jungkook shared a story on his account. It was a photo of a sunset with a caption, "Some words heal everything." ARMY lost control. That single sentence reignited the emotional storm. Was it a reference to Taehyung's confession? Was it Jungkook's way of saying he forgave, or that he finally understood? One fan summarized it best. They didn't need to explain. We all felt it. BTS has faced countless milestones, awards, records, history-making achievements. Yet, this simple, heartfelt exchange between Taehyung and Jungkook reminded fans that the truest power of BTS isn't just their success, it's their humanity. Taehyung's confession peeled away the layers of fame, showing vulnerability that few dare to show in public. And Jungkook's tears weren't weakness. They were proof of love, loyalty, and shared pain. Music journalists now describe the moment as a defining emotional turning point in BTS's legacy. One editorial in the Korea Herald wrote, "When idols become real, they become immortal." Weeks later, fans are still talking about that night. Reaction videos keep gaining millions of views. Global media outlets have started calling it the confession stream. But for many armies, it wasn't about the drama, it was about healing. Watching them was like watching two brothers finally say what needed to be said, one fan tweeted. It was beautiful and heartbreaking at the same time. Some fans even shared how Taehyung's honesty inspired them to open up about their own emotions, to forgive themselves, and to reconnect with old friends. The moment transcended celebrity culture. It became a symbol of emotional courage. In the days following the viral wave of emotion and speculation, fact-checkers and official representatives from HYB and BTS's management stepped forward to clarify the truth. Despite how convincing and emotional the viral posts appeared, the story about Taehyung's confession and Jungkook's tears during a live stream was not true. No such live broadcast ever took place, and the clips circulating online were either edited, taken out of context, or completely fabricated through the use of AI voice synthesis and manipulated video. HYB's brief statement emphasized that neither Taehyung nor Jungkook made any public emotional confession matching the viral story. According to the agency, Both artists have been focusing on individual schedules and personal creative projects, and there's been no recent live broadcast or event resembling what was described in the rumor. So, how did such a powerful and believable narrative spread so quickly? Media analysts point to the emotional psychology of fandoms and the evolving sophistication of online misinformation. In today's digital culture, even a simple, AI-edited clip, one that mimics familiar voices and faces, can create the illusion of authenticity. When fans encounter something emotionally charged, they share it before verifying it, driven by empathy, attachment, and sometimes even nostalgia. Dr. Kim Min-seo, a professor of media ethics at Yonsei University, explained, "Stories like this spread not because people want to deceive others, but because audiences want to feel something real. When idols represent hope, vulnerability, and humanity, even a fictional confession can seem true if it touches the right emotions." Indeed, the Taehyung confession narrative became a perfect storm of emotional resonance and viral potential. The combination of Taehyung's reputation for introspection, Jungkook's sensitive public image, and ARMY's deep emotional investment created fertile ground for speculation. Even reputable entertainment blogs began reposting summaries without verification, further amplifying the falsehood. The aftermath has since turned into an important discussion within both Korean and international fan communities. Influential ARMY accounts have called for a renewed emphasis on responsible fandom culture, one that balances love and excitement with critical awareness. Several fan-led initiatives have emerged to fact-check viral claims before they spread, using timestamps, official sources, and media literacy training. Interestingly, even though the story was proven false, many fans have admitted that the fictional narrative still held emotional meaning for them. For some, it reflected unspoken hopes, the idea of honesty, forgiveness, and genuine connection between the members. Psychologists call this the parasocial reflection effect, when fans use imagined scenarios as emotional mirrors for their own lives. But experts also warn about the dangers of confusing emotional fiction with verified truth, when audiences blur the line between fantasy and reality, said Dr. Lee Hyunwoo, a sociologist at Seoul National University. It can distort public understanding of real events and even cause emotional exhaustion among fans who feel manipulated by false hope or unnecessary sadness. In the end, the viral confession story serves as a cautionary tale about how believable misinformation can become in an age of AI-edited content and emotionally charged fandoms. While the story of Taehyung's supposed confession and Jungkook's tears never happened, the reactions it triggered reveal a deeper truth about today's digital culture. Emotion travels faster than evidence. IT also reminds readers, journalists, and fans alike that truth matters, especially when it comes to the people we admire. Behind every rumor are real individuals whose words, expressions, and reputations deserve protection from distortion. While Taehyung never made that tearful confession, and Jungkook never cried during a live stream, the incident still offers an opportunity to reflect on the boundaries between admiration and obsession, between storytelling and misinformation, in a world where even the most touching news can be built on fiction. The real act of love from fans is not sharing what moves them most, but verifying what's real before they believe it, because truth, no matter how quiet, will always outlast the loudest lie.